I was muted, folks. My bad. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys for stopping through. This is our Monday motivational power talk that we had to carry over into Tuesday because last night was not able to do it due to the fact that I had another busy schedule on a Monday and I had school. So I want to thank you guys for stopping through. So let's talk about education, folks. I want to talk about why it's important. We all know why it's important, but I want to go a little bit deeper than that. So, what my father used to tell me about education, folks. So let's get it. Well, if it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. Good evening, everybody. Thank you guys for stopping through. Don't know who has came through yet. I see people in. I see people on YouTube. I see some people on Twitch, and of course some people on Facebook. But I don't know who you are yet until you give some comments in the comment section. I want to thank you guys for coming in. Let's get these likes up, folks. If those of you who have been viewing my podcast, you like the content I put out there, let's get the likes up. And furthermore, I'm asking you to donate to the podcast that we do. Our small donation. My Cash App is scrolling right past you on the bottom of the screen here. I'm not asking for a lot of money. I can't say this enough. I'm not asking for $50 and all that kind of stuff. If you send me that, I will decline it and I will send it back. I'm not trying to live life good with your money. This is strictly for the podcast, so I'm only asking for a small donation, no more than $20. You can be $5, it can be 10. It's your choice. Okay. So just wanted to be clear on that. Okay. Want to say hello to Quintina Lee for stopping through here. Thank you, Quintina Lee. Appreciate you stopping through. I want to talk to you about a little bit of research that I've done lately. The education, not so far the education system, but the education period. I put a post up this morning. As you guys know, I'm always putting up educational or inspirational, motivational quotes every morning. It doesn't require you to agree or disagree with them. This is something I put out there. These are my motivation that I'm sharing. I'm sharing my inspiration with the masses. If it helps you, good. If it don't, leave it alone. You chew the meat and spit out the fat. That's as simple as that, people. There are people out here who have a problem with that, unfortunately. And some people feel convicted about something you post. So therefore, they want to claim something that is untrue based off of what you post. So what they do is set up a narrative and dismiss the facts. And that's pretty much what the mainstream media does today. They don't share facts or present news anymore. They just sell a narrative. And that narrative is being sold by the people who put money into these media outlets. Which is why education is so important. This is just an example. If you look at these articles they put out here on COVID, they always start off with the headlines. This person rejected the vaccines. Now their family mourn over their death. Stuff like that. If anybody is not smart enough to see through that, dude, I feel sorry for you. You need to pick up your cognitive game. Seriously. And somebody might say, well, how do you feel that way? How do you say that? Well, first of all, I goes back to my fucking elementary school science. That I don't even need to mention people that I know out of MIT. I don't even need to mention people that I have followed, such as Dr. Shiva Aradere, MIT, biological engineering out of MIT, have several degrees, invented the email. I don't need to even mention people like that. I just simply go right back to my elementary school science, which is ironic to me that just before I moved to Florida, not from DC, they had taken science out of elementary school. They're taking science out of it. Everything is science. because everything is energy. So speaking on the facts, folks, I've always been told facts kills all arguments. But damn it, more people today are trying to argue facts than any other time. Any other time. And they're not arguing facts with facts. They're arguing facts with how they feel, with their feelings, their emotions. That's why you see people post stuff like, fuck your feelings. And they don't mean that literally. They're saying that in a way as, dude, I got a black shirt on. I don't care if you don't like it. You can't argue the fact that this shirt is black. So the facts are there. Education can debunk it. You know why? Because you won't feel convicted when something steps on your toes or something kind of hit home for you. There's a lot of posts that I've seen people put out there, whether I agree to it or not. If that's a fact, then that is a fact. People put false stuff out there all the time. And I don't say it's false just because I disagree with it. I would say it's false is because I know better and I know differently and I've studied and found differently. And I know that person did not put as much research in it that I did. They just simply shared it from somebody else. And if you take a look at the media today, that's all the media is nothing but chains. It's called a daisy chain. You have daisy chains in business and you have daisy chains in media outlets. Prime example, you can take any 3-digit number. I don't care if it's 999. I don't care if it's 111. I don't care what 3-digit number it is. You take any 3-digit number, go into Google and put any 3-digit number in there and type cases behind it. Any 3-digit, and you can test me on it. Go to Google and type in any 3-digit number and put cases behind it. And I guarantee you will see how it's programmed. You see how the algorithm is working. They're going to say, whatever number you say, they're going to say new cases of coronavirus or COVID. New cases. I don't care what number it is. That's an algorithm, people. I talked to you guys about spiritual and digital algorithms. I said the universe is a big algorithm. And I told you how big tech is using how the universe operates to apply that method into their business. That's what algorithm is. It's a digital footprint. It just records your digital footprint. So whatever you follow, whatever you believe in, they keep feeding you more of what you believe in. Even if it's bullshit. That's a fact. So why did my dad always preach? Get your education. Get your education. I'm telling you, my father instilled that. He drilled that into me so much as a child. It got on my damn nerves. You know what I did? I said, Lord, let me hurry up and finish high school so I won't hear this man say this shit to me no more. I got tired of hearing it. But now, I'm buried myself around it. I'm buried in it. I live it now. I research on top of what needs to be researched. In other words, if I'm researching something and if I find something that does not sit well or give me a better understanding, I will research whatever that result is and keep researching it all the way down until I understand, until I have a better understanding of something. Taking the cybersecurity class, finishing up my cybersecurity at Kingsland University. One thing I'm proud to hear my professor say to us is, if you're not researching anything throughout this course, I don't care if you're using Google or DuckDuckGo, I don't care what it is. If you're not doing any type of research to find answers in this work, you will not make it in this class. This is one class dealing with cybersecurity. I'm talking about programming and coding and developing software. He said, if you're not using Google or whatever it is that you need to use to find answers to a lot of these problems in this course, you will not make it in this course. What class do you know where they tell you, man, you need to use Google? they trying to tell you not to use it because they want to try to they want to stress you out, try to think you can try to pull it out your head. You're not going to pull everything out your head. You got to research it. My father, he died at the age of 68. At the age of 68. My father only had a third grade education. Formal education, let me put it that way. Third grade formal education. He was the oldest of his siblings. He had to leave school early just so that he can collect coal. See, what we don't know about is during my father comes from the great, well, it's called the Great Generation. He came from the Great Generation. In that generation, they had to heat their house up every day by going out in the street and shoveling up coal, putting it in wheelbarrows or buckets to carry it back to their house so they can use it to heat their home. My father had to do that on a daily basis. He did not have time to go to school when he only had a third grade education. And the rest of his life, living in his parents' home, that's what he had to do. He got fascinated by shoveling coal, carrying coal to his house. He figured if this is what's going to heat homes, then I need to learn how to run a business dealing in coal. So what did my father do as he got older? He got into the oil business and dealing with coal. If you're in Washington, D.C., and you look at them old row houses up in the Northwest D.C., Northeast, my father serviced probably over 80% of those homes up there and kept those homes warm. Those homes probably still have old furnaces in them if they haven't been remodeled. My father did majority of the work. All those people knew my father's business. He was in partnership with a guy named Dave Thomas with Thomas Heating and Cooling up in Washington, D.C. My father took something that he was forced to do as a child and turned it into a money-making machine for himself. And because he knew he did not have the formal education, he never had a bank account. All his money, all his pay, everything he got paid was cash. He didn't have a credit card back then. He didn't have a bank account. His bank account was in his house. That's how he operated. He didn't have formal education to understand digital stuff and technologies and all his other things. He didn't have that. So he operated on what he was able to operate on to the best of his ability, folks. Give me 1 second. I have let's see. All right, let me go. All right, I'm back with you. So my father didn't have that. So what did he do with his kids? My brother Joe, my sister Vera, my other brother Michael Lee, myself, my father's children. He kept instilling in us, especially me. I'm the youngest. Get your education. That's all he kept saying that to me. It got on my nerves. But now I understand why. He didn't have the formal. He only had a third grade education. He was forced to do something that he knew nothing about to keep his family warm in their home. His father and his mother, they worked, but they tell him, you got to go out and get coal in a bucket or in a wheelbarrow, whatever he had to shovel it and put it in. And it was heavy. That's what they used to keep their house warm. That was his education. That is what you call self-education. He self-educated himself into being an entrepreneur when he got older. And he serviced over 80% of the homes up in the Northwest and Northeast, Washington, D.C., in keeping people's furnaces. The people who had their big furnaces in their basement, he served them. He knew how to fix furnaces. That's exactly what he learned how to do. That's exactly what he learned how to do. Want to say what's up with my main man? What's up, man? What's up, brother Daryl Jackson? Good to see you, fam. So this is what he did. So how? So you see how he did that. You see how he did that. He turned it into a money-making machine. He said, man, if I'm going to be dealing with this coal, I see a lot of people out here doing it. A lot of people. And what happened was when he was doing it for himself, for his own family, he started making some money on the side, a little pocket change for other people who in the neighborhood who needed coal to warm their houses up, especially the older people who did not have the strength to lift that coal. So he go up in and say, do you need coal? Guys, do you remember, was there any a time when you or people in a generation or two behind you have knocked on your door and asked to take out your trash for some small change? Do you guys ever experience that or remember kids doing that? My father did that for coal. Do you need coal in your house today? My father would go and shovel up coal and put it on the side and knock on people's door and sell them coal because they couldn't go out and get the coal themselves. He would go out there and get the coal, bring it to them in buckets, pour it in wherever they need to pour it, and he'll go out and fill that bucket back up again and make a little bit more money. And he taught me how to hustle that way. In Washington, D.C., there was a store called Marlin's over off of New York Avenue. It was a warehouse store where you can go and get bulk products at a store called Marlin's over there off of New York Avenue. Back in the day, he used to go up there. Him and my mom used to set up their vending machine. And because their hustle was instilled in me, I would walk down, they would go up there by Marlin's and set up their vending machine, and I would leave their vending machine and go down, not even 20 feet, down to Marlin's and hustle bags. I would help people with their bag. When they come out the store in the grocery cart, I would help them put bags in the grocery store, and people was giving me some change behind it. And when I got my change, I would walk down to my mother and my father's vending machine, not vending machine, but vending table, vending booth, vending table. They had a vending table. I walked down to that vending table and emptied my pockets out on the table, and I had stacks of coins and dollars and everything. And my father said, man, you've been rolling today, son. Yeah. And I would empty my pockets just so I could have enough pocket room to go back there and keep hustling bags when people coming out the grocery store. Marlin's. I learned how to hustle. I learned the value of hard work. I learned the value of self-education, people. And my father used to say to me, I don't care if it's through school. I don't care if it's how you self-taught. Get your education. That's all he ever kept saying to me. If there's anything in the world my father will want me to do, and that will be get my education. Find your way to learn. And in the religion of Islam, Muslims will tell you that Prophet Muhammad said, seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. A gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn, he said, get all the information while you can. While the college, no matter where you are, college or seminars, conferences, get all the information, absorb all the information. Everything is not going to be for you, folks. When I say get your education, I don't mean that you get all your education and everything is just going to work. Everything is not going to be for you, but that doesn't mean you discredit it or block it out. You chew the meat and you spit out the fat. Even if you spit out the fat, you still full. You still got your meal, folks. So you don't need to go back and forth with people. It's all about education. And let me just share something with you. I read an article and unfortunately somebody got upset about my post from this morning when I said that Asians study roughly 15 hours a week compared to the average American studies 7 hours a week. Someone got upset with that. And they tried to make it seem like it was a racial attack. How the hell can you contribute that to a racial attack? I thought something might have been wrong with him, so I just stopped wanting to go back and forth with the person. Now, before I take you there, I just want to let you guys know this is some research I've done. Not only research that I've done, but there are several research saying practically the same thing. Now, it didn't say anything about whites. It didn't say anything about blacks. It just said Americans. Asians, as my post said, my post did not say Asians study more than white Americans, or study more than black American, or study more than Indian Americans. It said study more than Americans. Simply what it said. One Caucasian male felt convicted and tried to charge me of attacking race. First of all, let me just say this. For those of you who are watching from the Tampa Bay Friends and Events group, that's my group. I kicked them out because I just wasn't going to go back and forth. I'd rather stop conversating with you. If this is what you think and you think you feel a certain way, you have no business being in the group, or you have no business being around me, period. Just let it be what it is. Keep it simple. So those of you who are watching that group, let me say something to you right now. If I wanted to just make a division of race in that post, guess who would be more upset about it? I would. You know why? Because if you look at the education level between blacks and whites in this country, blacks are way down low compared to whites. Asians overtake us both in education. So that's why I say American. I didn't say white or black. I said Americans. There's a lot of people in this country who are not black or white or Asian who are still Americans. So no, it did not have to do with race. It just said Asians compared to American. Asian Americans compared to Americans. So that means they put whites, black, Indians, anybody else who are not Asian. They put us all in one group. Practically, that's what I did. So if you look at the stats, it talks about white. It says whites here, and I didn't talk about white, but the article here is right here, folks. It's right here. Matter of fact, let me just make it bigger for you. Asian Americans are the highest earning and fastest growing racial group in the United States. Why is that, people? It says it right here. Let me see something here. Let me show you guys something. Educational attainment, this is 2015. You see the red square here means native. The green circle is foreign. White, non-Hispanic. Look at the chart, folks. Look at the chart. Look what Asians is. Whether they are foreign, you see what my mouse is right here? Whether they are foreign or born here in America. Their scale is way beyond 50, in between 50 to 60, compared to the whites. Non-Hispanic is below 50. That's foreign. And if you're a native white, you're below 40. Now let's go to black. Blacks, God help us. Exactly, Daryl. Blacks, we're 30 and below. That's if you're foreign. So if you're foreign and you're black, that means you come from Africa or Guyana or South America or Africa somewhere, and they are much more serious about education than African Americans are, than the natives of native African Americans. Africans come over here, they're much more serious about education than we are. We go down to Hispanic. Only people we outgain in education right now is Hispanic. And this could possibly change soon. That's the facts, folks. I don't make this shit up, man. Come on, folks. People getting all upset. What the hell are you getting upset about? If anybody should be upset, listen, if anybody should be upset, it should be me. It should be us African Americans. We should want to be like, man, we need to do better with education. I'm not talking about the poor education that we may be receiving from the urban schools. I'm not even talking about that, because we still have a responsibility. Our parents have a responsibility to go out there and fight for our kids' education. You go to a PTA meeting, the average PTA meetings today, and I don't think it has changed since I left DC. When I was an ANC commissioner, I had to go to a lot of these schools. The average PTA meetings a day, you go to a school that has over 3,000 children. 3,000 children. And I've seen PTA meetings with 13 parents in a Black community. 13 parents. The number is only slightly higher when they have their promotional exercise or their elementary school graduation. That's the Black community. I've seen with my own eyes. So for a white person to get upset about that post, dude, you have no place to be upset. I should be upset. I should be the one who's embarrassed. I'm the one who should feel convicted. I'm the one who should feel convicted behind the post that I posted. That post is for me to express myself to the world. If it motivates you, awesome. Let's go to work. If it doesn't, leave it alone. Because it had nothing to do with you. It's just a fact. It's a statistic. So people getting upset, the wrong person got upset. If an African American would have got upset about my post, guess what? I would have expected that more than anything. But the fact that this person get upset kind of makes me think maybe they have a prejudice against Asians, that they don't like the fact that they're outgaining them in education. We ain't outgaining nobody in education, but Hispanics, according to this study. So if anybody should be upset, it should be me. For my own damn people. Because why? We don't want to read. We want to watch the BET Awards or the EBT Awards. We want to watch the Grammys. We want to watch Housewives in Potomac, Housewives in Atlanta, or Love and Hip Hop. We want to watch that shit. Ain't getting not a lick of education. Don't have not one book open. Not studying nothing in class. And then when we fall behind, you want to try to find something easy to get into, to try to help make ends meet. When you've had ample time to prepare yourself in your family, and I'm talking to Black people right now, you had ample time to deal with what was coming. I said in 2016 that we will be in a recession right now. 2020, I said we will be in a recession. I said that. Oh, hey, he just a self-help guru. Or he is conspiracy theory. But guess what? Conspiracy theories are up 1,000 points right now. What points have you gained? The bigger the house, the bigger the library. The smaller the house, the bigger the television set. Just posted an article earlier. Guy wins $30,000. Win $30,000 lottery. I guess it was lottery. I didn't look deeply into it. $30,000. He takes 20,000 and buy chains with it, and immediately gets robbed. He gets robbed by other uneducated financial people. Remember a long story a long time ago where a rich woman had her house broken into. They stole everything except the book that would teach them how to get rich. You can get mad at me. You can even delete me. But it don't change the facts. It only says that you're running from the facts. That's exactly what it says. That's why my father instilled that in me. Get your education. And sometimes he would grit his teeth. Get your education, boy. Get your education. I was sitting in the restaurant every month. I take it upon myself. I go after the gym. I go to a place called Skyway Jacks to eat my food. Shout out to Skyway Jacks. I get breakfast, or most of the time I eat salads every day, just about every day out of Skyway Jacks. So I decided that I'm going to start taking once a month and paying for one senior citizen's food or meal out of that restaurant because I go there enough. And I do see a lot of senior citizens, and so I figure once a month I'm gonna pay for senior citizens meal. And I did that yesterday, and I posted that, said this was the day I chose a senior citizen to pay for their meal. A gentleman by the name of Mike. He was 83 years old, and he looked good. 83 years old. Paid for his meal. After I paid for his meal, you know what I did? I asked him some questions about the economy. I asked him questions about where his era and how we got, things like the gold standard, how Nixon took the American dollar off the gold standard. What was the gold standard and what was the silver standard back then? What was it like? Talk about the ERISA Act. The ERISA Act is the reason why we have 401k today. Why do we have 401k? Why? Why did they give you 401k, meaning your earnings is being put into a stock market where you've never even been learned how to understand the stock market? I asked these questions. I talked about everything. I talked about the origins of steel, dealing with Pittsburgh, because there was two gentlemen I ended up talking to, older gentlemen. One from Pittsburgh. We talked about the steel. We talked about the Amish, how the Amish operates, how the economy is. I learned a lot from these guys. That is my education. That is a form of education, seeking information from people who are older than you are, who have been where you have not been. You would never be where they've been because that is history. You would never get there. But if history ever to repeat itself, you know exactly how to respond because you've been taught by somebody who've dealt with the same thing or similar thing in the past. And then I take my information, I research and I research it and read. And now I'm doing cybersecurity deeper than I've ever done it, to the fact that I'm in school learning how to code and program and be a defense hacker and an attack hacker called ethical hacking. I'm learning all of this stuff. Why? Because I'm going to create one of the most successful cybersecurity firms in this country. And we're going to protect people. We want to protect law enforcement. We want to protect government. We want to protect law firms. We want to protect hospitals. We want to protect everybody. And everybody should be protected. Everybody. I don't care what your background is. Everybody should have cybersecurity protecting them. That's just the bottom line. I want to shout out to my sister, Miss Malana Williams. What's up, sis? So this is what I'm doing, folks. And it's okay to take pages out of somebody else's book, to have a mastery of your own. I want you to take a look at this again, people. If you got the Asian Americans are out gaining us in education, Why not figure out how they're doing it and why they're doing it? And I did that little bit of research. Now, somebody's posted. Now, let me see. Let's take a look at who posted this. You see who this person is? I don't want to butcher her last name, but I think her name is Dora Makora. Now, watch this. I'm going to take her name, copy it. Now, watch this. I'm going to paste it in DuckDuckGo. Let's find out who this person is. She's an author from here. She's a journalist. Her middle name is Hassan, out of Memphis, Tennessee. But let's click on this link and let's see what she looked like. Doesn't have a picture of her here. So we know her last name is Hassan. And this is what I told you about research. We're going to go through this together, folks. Pay attention. Go back. Let's go back to Voice of America, English. Here she is. She looked like she may be Arab or have Arab descendants in there. See? See? She's a journalist. Let's go to her Twitter account. Her tweets are her own, all about America. She have 62 followers and she's following 72. So she might not be that active. I don't know how active she is. Then you can see the type of content she puts out there. See? See? So now we know who she is. And with the middle, she looks Arab, and her middle name is Hassan. Hassan is like an Arab name, someone from over in Kuwait or Pakistan or places like that. So you guys can see this is what I mean by research. This is what we have to do. We have to do this stuff. This is part of education, folks. You see what I just did? Just found out who this person is. She's the one who wrote this article. So if she is non-Asian, non-white, and non-black, and she wrote this article, she wrote this study of Asian Americans are most educated group in America. That's a fact, folks. That's a fact. So if anybody, and I mean anybody, is getting offended by that, it should be black folks, because we are lower than everybody. We lower than whites. We lower than Indians. We lower than the Africans. We lower than, especially, we know we all lower than Asians, because Asians is outgaining everybody. A lot of white folks don't like to hear that, but it's a fact. It doesn't make my white friends. This does not degrade you at all. It doesn't degrade you, because if you take Asians out of the equations, white people, you hold that throne. Us as African Americans, we need to get to where you are before we can get to where the Asians are. So don't be getting offended. If anybody should be offended, it should be black people. It should be me. But I'm not offended. I'm embarrassed, because we don't educate ourselves. See, rich people educate themselves. Poor people entertain themselves. We're too busy trying to be entertained rather than that. See, Entertainment for us is like education to Asians or education to the Indians over in India, Bangalore, India, New Delhi and Delhi and all these places, Bangalore, Pakistan. If you look at folks, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Black folks, listen, we are equally responsible for our education as the education system. The education system is going to continue to be what it is until we hold them accountable and make them better. When you have a school of 2,000 or 3,000 students and only 13 parents shows up for a PTS meeting, that's your damn fault. That's the education system that you have accepted. You go to the average PTA meeting in a white community, their parents is there. As a matter of fact, you might see some of them white parents out there having a tailgate. They flipping burgers and everything at their PTA meeting in the back of their pickup trucks and shit. They're going to be there. Asian community, when they see an Asian parent coming, when they see an Asian parent coming to that school, they already know, hey, your shit in order. As a matter of fact, let me share something with you. Those of you in the DMV, the DC area, how many Asians do you see shopping in Giant or Safeway? And those of you down here in Florida and in Georgia, how many Asians do you see shopping in Publix or Winn-Dixie? Where are they getting their food at? Where are they getting their goods? How many Asians? Now, I'm not saying zero. You're going to find some in some of the American stores. Yeah. Systematically, how many Asians do you see shopping in Macy's, Nordstrom's, Publix? I can take you to two Oriental stores right now. Two of them, Holistic Foods instead. I can take you to two of them right here in St. Petersburg and over in Seminole. Two. I can take you to two already. And you go in there, Asians are loaded in there. Why? Because they buy and they patronize each other. They support one another. They educate one another. Black people, God help us. We just all over the damn place. Everybody educating us. And it ain't gonna be valuable education that we could give ourselves. We let everybody feed us. We let everybody educate us. We let everybody give us everything and we don't question a damn thing. Just like these damn vaccines, we don't question nothing. We don't challenge nothing. That's why we always on the bottom. Because we're always complying to bullshit. I said it. To my white friends, again, this is no knock on you at all. None. Because if you, like I said, if you take Asians out of the equation, you're sitting on the top of the throne when it comes to education. We need to get where you are. And we have nobody to blame for that but ourselves, to my white friends. And I ain't being no coon for telling the truth. But Asians do outgain all of us in education. We need to figure out what we need to do to get there. Because apparently China is buying up every goddamn thing. They're about to buy up this country. I can go deeper into that rabbit hole, but I choose not to right now. That's something I can share on a one-on-one or more disclosed conversation. Are y'all angry with me? You mad at me? I'm only telling the truth. Black folks, we don't own nothing. We own nothing. We still sitting around waiting on 40 acres in the moon. That shit ain't coming. We don't own, we still sitting around waiting on reparations and think Biden and them gonna get, we don't own nothing. We don't own nothing. We can't build nothing. We got nothing. China is all over in Africa. They done tricked them into thinking they making deals with them. Now China is putting their military over there. So you got to understand, folks, China is overpopulating. They've been overpopulated for a long time. They're putting their people everywhere. They're trying to buy ports down in Jamaica. They're getting ready to start buying up land here in the United States. You know, they're probably already doing that. Our education system is being controlled. That's why I said you got to be accountable for your own education. You got to be accountable for your own. It's too much. We live in too much in a digital age for y'all to keep going by what the mainstream media is telling you. There's no excuse. And stop trying to Google shit to support a narrative that you support. You ain't going to grow until you find something that's going to challenge your narrative or challenge your belief system. And I'm talking to you like this is because my belief system was challenged. At one time, I wasn't even talking about the stuff that I talk about now as far as COVID. I was telling you to wash your hands, man, get your hands. And then I started finding out some different information that was challenging what I was believing. And I said, damn, man. And then when I did my research, you see how you just saw how I researched that lady. I did research and then found something else that I needed more research. I kept doing that. And I started finding something that it was just challenging and debunking the narrative that they putting out here on the American people. And I said, you know what? I ain't following that shit no more. That's why you start hearing me talk against what they're trying to do to us. No conspiracy theory. I know what the fuck I'm talking about, people. And everything that I've said to you, everything I told you was coming, it has came. Everything. I told you the economy was going to collapse. Told you in 2016. Look at my videos from 2016. I told you guys in 4 years from that time, we're going to be in a recession. I also told you last year that even if once this pandemic ends, you're still going to be at least another 18 years in a recession in this country. I told you that. I guarantee you that's going to happen. They still trying to print money to support you to sit at home on your ass and do nothing. If you're a Christian, you know that the Bible said, man who don't work, not supposed to eat. That they trying to feed you by sitting on your ass, giving you extra money for unemployment. What happens when that run out? What happens when the evictions, they did another extension on evictions last week. What happens when that run out? Have you been educating yourself? See, all this shit that's going on, it slowed my speaking business down. I ain't getting no calls to go speak somewhere. Nobody offered me to speak. Everybody shut down. You can't go into no auditorium and speak. I'm not trying to speak to people through no virtual telecoms and stuff. I'm not trying to do that. I really don't. People are doing it. That's on them. God bless them. I prefer not to do that. I prefer to be in front of a crowd, speaking, talking to them. I want to be able to shake people's hands. I want to be able to hand them a book to read. I don't want to be talking to people, but you got 50 television screens and everybody in their screen cheering. I don't want that shit, man. That ain't me. So my business slowed down. So what did I do? Okay, let me go ahead and finish my education in cybersecurity so I can start another stream of income once I'm done. Folks, if you don't have at least 3 to 7 streams of income, you're going to fall by the wayside in this economy. You can preach socialism all you want. That shit will never work in this country or in this world. Socialism will not work. People can't get rich so you can eat. That shit is not going to work, people. Every time they try to implement that, what happens? Companies start outsourcing their jobs overseas to people who are doing the exact same thing that you're doing for way, way less. You make $60,000 a year to answer the phone or work at home, but your competition is over in Bangalore, India, making $9,000 a year based off of the same stuff that you're providing. So guess what happens? A company, you lose your job and they take your job and go overseas to avoid paying higher taxes that Democrats typically like to raise taxes. So they go and escape, go overseas, open an offshore bank account and put offshore labor on somebody in another country. If you don't believe me, call your customer service on a weekend about your cell phone. And once you just start hearing, how you are doing, can I get your call today? Would you like to reboot to the phone? You reboot your phone and I will call you back in 5 minutes. I guarantee you hear that. You know why? Because they're paying them pennies over there to do that. You ain't got to be stuck there. You can educate yourself. I'm telling you what my father said to me. Get your education. I will tell you that 1 million times. Get your education because you can do better. You must do better. Now you must do better. Gentleman by the name of George Fraser said, we don't change when we see the light. We change when we feel the heat. That's the difference between the haves and the have-nots. See, the haves, they see it. They adjust. The have-nots, they say, well, I believe it when I see it. And then when they see it, it's too late for them to believe it. See, success leaves two things, folks. It leaves price and it leaves clues. Success leaves a price and it leaves clues. You got to take heed to the clues and you got to pay the price. And if you don't pay the price, guess what? There's a cost for not paying the price. You don't want to know what that is because poverty is chasing you. I don't care how much money you got. Poverty is chasing you. When you sit idle, guess what? When you sit idle, poverty has an opportunity to come up closer and closer to you. That's why the universe is always moving, folks. The earth does not sit idle. The earth rotates on an axis. It never stops. If the earth ever stopped, we're all dead. Earth don't stop. Don't you stop. Keep your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations in action. Keep moving. Keep learning. If you want to earn more, you have to learn more. I'm learning more. I'm learning more. When I'm done with my cybersecurity study, when I graduate from school and get started my firm based off of that, guess what else I must do? Start doing. I'm gonna start learning blockchain. Blockchain, that's dealing with cryptocurrency. That's if you get a job in that, that's minimum 150,000. At a minimum, that's if you want a job. Of course, I'm entrepreneurial. I'm using this to build an empire with it, not to get a job. But blockchain, if you just got a job with blockchain, minimum 150,000. Some of the stuff that I'm learning in cybersecurity is a thing called Splunk. Splunk gets you 250,000 if you want a job. But I don't want a job. I'm going after contracts. Got to educate yourself. Position yourself. I had the right parenting. I had the right mentors. That same can be for you, even if you didn't have the right parenting. There are mentors out there, folks. Les Brown said we all need mentors because it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. We all need mentors. Stop relying on politicians to save you. They ain't gonna save shit. They have not saved. Charles Barkley said poor people have been voting Democrats for 50 years and they still poor. At some point, you're gonna say, oh, wait a minute, this shit is not working. At some point, when are you gonna say that? At some point, you gotta say, you know what? I need to learn how to do this. I need to start learning how to do that. I need to start reading up on this. Our problem is we want to read up on somebody we don't like. We want to read up on somebody who is a celebrity who quit another celebrity when they were dating. We want to read up on that bullshit. How would you feel if somebody want to read your life story? How would you feel if somebody else want to put an accusation out on you and let the whole world gossip about it? Nobody has permission to light your fire but you. Don King himself. Don King said success is setting yourself on fire and let the world come watch you burn. You got to educate yourself. You got to read. You got to read, folks. I've shown you many times books I have in here. Plenty of times. And you black folks who think that the white man keeping you from succeeding, I have a book for you to read. It's called 37 Things Every Black Man Needs to Know. You need to read that book. And it has a part 2 that says 37 more things every black man needs to know. Is that the right name of that book? Let me see. Let me find this, folks. We're going to research that real quick. I'm showing you guys some research. Isn't that something? Watch this, folks. Let's find out. I think that's the title of that book. Let's find out. Let's find out. I spelled no wrong, but it'll come up. Here it is. I did. That is the right title. Boy, I tell you. Come on, folks. Come on, man. Come on now. So let's do this. Hope y'all ain't mad with me, because this is what it's about, man. Look, the truth will set you free, but it will piss you off first. I read this book back in the 90s. I read this book in the 90s, man. I was like shortly after high school sometime. Earl Smith, that's the author's name, Earl Smith. I remember I read this book. This is what it looked like for me. This is what this book looked like. This one up here, it was 1991, but it was okay. Here, Earl Smith. Earl Smith. See if I can get this book blown up. I guess you guys can see it. Let me just do it this way. See? That's 37 more things every black man needs to know. But there's the part one to this book. Get this book too, guys. Ladies too. You can get it too. Because if ladies read this, that means you can hold the fellas accountable when you read this book. This is an awesome book. Where's there's another one. I'm gonna find the other book. That's 37 more things, but that's part 2 of it. Get that book, people. People, get that book. So I guess over time the cover of the book changed, but let me go ahead and put this out there. This is a 2-part book. Paperback book is only $5.99, folks. Don't say you ain't got the money. You can find $5.99. You can find that to buy cigarettes or beer. You can buy this book, folks. 37 Things Every Black Man Needs to Know. Get that book by Earl Smith. You see what I'm saying, peeps? Get that book. Because we talking about educate. Man, get your education, people. This book is holding a black man accountable. I love this book. I love this book. See, a black man who don't want to be held accountable, you know what he's going to call this author? He's going to call him a coon. Oh, he Uncle Con, he a coon. Nah, read this book. Read this book, folks. Get that book. Get it. And then once you, matter of fact, get that book along with this book, 37 more things every black man needs to know. Let me see if I can blow this up. Oh, that ain't enough. I thought it was gonna be bigger than that. Shit. You see, you understand what I'm saying, folks? Get it. Get it. Get it. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something else. Y'all just hold tight. Get those two books, 37 things every black man needs to know, along with 37 more things every black man needs to know. And I guess I know you guys know what this is. It's my website. Get this book too. You can order this book, Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. You can order this from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, or you can go and get it from Walmart. See, I'm going to click on the Walmart link. Get it from Walmart for $10.69. $10.69, people. See? Y'all stop playing. Y'all stop playing out here. And I got 3 more books already in production. Already, I got 3 more books coming up in production. They about to get ready to go into editing. I'm writing and I'm in school, folks. It's no excuse. It's no excuse out here. Stop bullshitting, people. Stop faking. Y'all pump faking. Y'all pump faking out here, man. Y'all pump faking out here. Stop playing. Anybody got time to be playing with y'all? Stop playing, man. These people out here getting it. You see the Asians out here getting it, man. They getting it. They own a lot of they own stuff over in Africa. They own stuff in Jamaica. They own stuff here. We don't own nothing. We own nothing. So any white person who got offended by my post from this morning, you shouldn't. Why the hell would you get offended from that? I told the truth. Anybody should be offended or embarrassed or mad. It should be me, because we don't rank nowhere near white people in education. Stop playing the victim all the damn time. That's what kills me. People always want to play the victim on every damn thing. Victim, victim, victim. So there you go, folks. Get this book too. Change your mind, change your life. That's it. That's it right there. Order that. Get your copy. Let me know that you got it. Now, you guys saw that first article I put up there. That article is another one. Did I put in the right one? Yeah. Scroll down. My father used to tell me that the Chinese send their kids to school 7 days a week in China. 7. While we take off Saturday and Sunday, Asian kids were still in school. Chinese kids still in school. Can't find the article I'm looking for. I'll have to do much research on it, but I don't want to keep you guys, I don't want to hold you guys up from it. Facts. I ain't making it up. So, folks, I'm about to cut up out of here. But I hope this was helpful to you guys. I hope you guys get the gist of what I was saying. If you came here late, please watch this video again. Share it. And furthermore, donate to the content. Go donate to the podcast. $ J Hunter Lee. I'm not asking for $50 and all that. Nothing more than $20. You're not giving me the money. You're contributing to the podcast. Eventually, this equipment that I have is going to need upgrade. It's fine now, but it's going to need an upgrade. Technology changes, right? So do me a favor if you can support the podcast. Donate no more than $20, if you will. It could be $5. It could be $10. We got a couple of donations that came in. I want to thank you guys, especially my man Sherman Rivers, who have donated. I appreciate you very much. So go ahead and make a donation, folks, to the podcast. I'm not asking for $50. I don't need your money. I'm not trying to go party with your money, none of that. If you send me a lot of money, I'm going to return it. I don't need your money. I'm not asking for your money. It's not for me. It's for the podcast. So I appreciate you guys. You know, nothing more than $20. I'm not trying to, you know, solicit and, you know what I'm saying, all that crazy stuff. So if you send $50 and stuff like that, I'm gonna decline it in Cash App. I'm gonna send it back. I don't need them, and I probably put a message in. Please, no more than $20. That's on. That's me I'm being very transparent about that, because I don't want people to say, "Oh yeah, he asking people for money." No, I don't need your money. Just contribute no more than $20 to the podcast. That's fair, right? So with that being said, I want you to do me a bigger favor, folks. Share the video, family or friends. If this video wasn't for you, it's okay. Just chew the meat and spit out the fat. Just take what was valuable and use that. What wasn't valuable to you, leave it alone. That's all the information is about. I'm not asking you to agree with me 100%. You're not going to agree with me 100%. You don't have the same life experience as I do. I'm only here to shed light on some information, and you can do what you want to do with it. That's all. That's all. That is your choice. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't censor anything. Unless you want to be controversial, then I have to delete your ass. Other than that, folks, do me a bigger favor. Again, if it wasn't for you, share it anyway, because you know somebody this video would help. Family or friends that can benefit from what I just shared today. So with that being said, I want you to do me one bigger favor, people, and that is to sing like no one can hear you, dance like no one can see you, love like you've never been hurt, and live like it's heaven on earth. I'm J Hunter Lee. I love you, and the world needs you. It is nothing you can do about that. So stop that damn texting and driving. Peace and blessings, folks, and have a great day.